Stretching, loosening up, and they know they will be in for a tussle. The Yellow Submarine of Villareal looking to raise Periscope into Champions League ground, but they will have to try and do something here. This is to keep the defense going. The top defensive team at home, the top defensive team in La Liga. Only 11 goals. That's a best ever for a club at the top flight for Villareal, but 11 straight away. Just one defeat for Barca. Can they get back on a winning track to start the new year? Find out.
It's your TV. Take it with you. With DirecTV and AT&T, stream live TV anywhere, data free. Join DirecTV today, starting at $35 a month. No extra monthly fees.
You have a vision. It drives you. It inspires you. It's behind everything you do. Even when you least expect it, it comes through. You know what you want, and we can help make it real. You want choices? We've got lots. Pick a design. Make it your own. And if you get stuck, we can help. Add a special finish. Or try a premium paper. Whatever you choose, we absolutely guarantee the paper, the printing, even your design. Every time, for any reason, because you have a vision, and we have your card. 500 start at just $9.99 when you enter promo code BC500 at vistaprint.com.
Are you a tennis fan? There's no other better place to get your tennis fix. Throughout the whole year, enjoy the most important tennis tournaments in the world and see the best starts of the planet. Enjoy everything. Yes, you heard right, and it's exclusive. All WTA tennis tournaments live on our screens and the greatest ATP matches in the world. This week, enjoy the WTA APIA International live from Sydney, Australia. Welcome to BN Sports, the new home for tennis.
Crossing the bridges, climbing the ramps, crossbow pond.
Introducing the new turbocharged Volkswagen All-Track with 4Motion all-wheel drive, soon to be everywhere.
La Liga Santander is brought to you in part by Volkswagen, AT&T, and Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach.
And looking in at this legendary stadium with a new name, it is the same talent on display, and surprising talent considering the circumstances. The results have been coming for Villareal. Today they will be tested against that man. He might not have won the Ballon d'Or. We don't know if he's the best, at least officially, but there is little doubt he can be a one-man wrecking crew. Phil Shane alongside Thomas Rongen as the two teams step out onto the field. The pristine pitch of Villareal, and Thomas, take a look at Pato looking heavenward for a little help. They are playing outstanding, especially defensively, but it is Barcelona.
And Barcelona, Phil, is the best road team in La Liga. 6-1-1, 23 goals as well against the best defense. But this is a defining game for Barca, until a certain extent Villareal as well. It's a huge obstacle to overcome, but a chance to inspire hope again for this Barca team that has been poor as of late. And Villareal can leapfrog Atleti into fourth place and stay alive in the USL race.
Taking a look at the table, Barcelona actually starting the day in third place. Sevilla jumping above them, but that could change. Sergio Asenjo, one cap to his name, but that largely in part due to injury and a certain netminder named Iker Casillas. Musacchio anchoring the back line. Manu Trigueros, ex-La Masia, joining the Villareal homegrown Bruno. And the ex-Barcelona midfielder Jonathan Dos Santos really coming to his own. And the Brazilian is back. A duck walk towards glory for Alexandre Pato, joined by Italian Nicola Sansone on that front line. The two captains at midfield, Iniesta and Bruno, two men who carry the banners for their respective clubs. Ignacio Iglesias being the wave of the man with the whistle, the 41-year-old out of Galicia. Costoya and Ramos down the lines, and Pedro Sureda is the fourth official. Marc-Andre ter Stegen, the 24-year-old goalkeeper, can be flamboyant, extravagant, and stellar. Meanwhile, Piqué running Mascherano on the back line. Busquets anchoring, Gomes in, and it is MSN up front to start the new year. (4-3-3), but again, those are just numbers. Just a few seconds away. Again, with the new rules, you don't have to kick it forward, and some teams taking advantage of that, just sticking one inside the circle. Although again, there is just a bit of question about that, because you're still not supposed to be allowed to enter the other half of the field until the ball has been kicked. So how do you reach your foot around without being in an offside position? Leave that to the referees.
Rules, rules, and rules.
Must have been written by Dutchmen.
Yeah, and it is, because it's meaningless as well, Phil. That's the reason why it was written by Dutchmen.
We are underway. Resplendent in yellow, Villareal from the right to the left, and Barcelona in their red and blue. This Villareal side really burst onto the scene back in the mid-2000s under Manuel Pellegrini, playing a phenomenal, hypnotizing football that in many ways Barcelona borrowed from under Pep Guardiola. Got a bit of defensive teeth under Marcelino Garcia Toral, but then he got into a bit of a, shall we say, discussion with the ownership and leaders of the team. And just before the season started, Thomas, he was let go. Fran Escrivá, bit of a journeyman, both as a player and as a manager, steps in on short notice just a week before the season started. Ter Stegen whacks it back to midfield, and all he's done is put out a Coach of the Year performance, but no one really gives trophies for the first half of a season.
Very Zidane-like. He took the captains in a room, and he was at their mercy and just basically said, what went wrong? We don't enjoy the game anymore. He put smiles on their faces, healthy locker room like Zidane, and didn't change much tactically, obviously. And this team, in particular against Atletico a few weeks ago, on the road against Sporting, has played very well.
So it's going to be a corner kick for Villareal. They are scoring a bit more, fifth best offense at home. Garcia Toral so focused in defensively, and it is a game after all. Driven in towards the spot. Piqué gets his foot out in time. Good challenge stepping up in Roberto Soriano. Back into the box. Dos Santos against his old team, and he can't quite get the cross in time. Take a look at our players to watch. And it will be Dos Santos, the ex-Barca boy, taking on Neymar. And while Neymar had a phenomenal first half of the season, maybe not quite as statistically phenomenal as you might hope for, there are some questions as to how happy he is.
Well, that's what tax evasion does to you, Phil. It's exhausting, I guess. But he's been very good against Villareal. 8 goals, and maybe this could be the game for him to get out of his shell again and be more productive, which I think he needs to be.
Andre Gomes back to Sergio Roberto. Big couple of games here to start this new year for Sergio Roberto, who has taken over that right back spot without question, but it is still the transfer window. And if there is any sign of weakness, like Might be a good time for the managers to make a move. Nice try by Iniesta to get the opening, but the shot relatively easy for Asenjo.
Interesting fact there, Villareal has not given up a goal from outside of the 18-yard box this year, so Iniesta is trying to change that.
And if anyone can, why not Don Andres? Inside, Pato draws the defender, tries to get the little sombrero lift. Almost made it through 2, but not 3. Collision in the midfield. A good look at Escribá, the 51-year-old native Valencian. Never made it out of the youth ranks of Los Che. Long-time assistant with Valencia, Benfica, and Atletico before he finally got his first managerial stint at modest Elche.
Great shot here from Villareal. They're so compact out of that 4-4-2, athletic-like almost when they defend, very deep. They concede possession, and this is becoming obviously a tough situation for Barcelona that has struggled as of late. I think the last game that they lost was a microcosm what's happened this year. Turnovers, Iniesta early on leads to a goal. Alba, and it's a reason probably why he's not starting, a mistake as well. They've been punished when teams pressure them, and they've been punished also by teams that play low pressure and can counter, and Villareal is very good at that.
2 straight wins in league play for Barcelona after going through that bit of a rough stretch, including the Clásico. Whipped across. Perfect from Iniesta to Messi. Sergio Roberto, without really knowing Messi would be there, knew he would. Now Iniesta back for Roberto. One touch to the middle, but it curls away from Suarez.
Well, the key again for Barcelona is when they get numbers in the final third, which they will, is player and ball movement, without a doubt. And then the ability of Roberto and Digne, in this particular case, to be able to go forward and really unbalance that block of 8 from Villareal.
Trying to go Dovaca. Luis Suarez, then a bump. I don't think he hit the player sliding through, Victor Luis. I think he just, it was Costa who lost his footing. Take another look, though. Maybe he got popped in the face.
Based on Suarez's response, by being actually kind, there is contact, there is a pull, without a doubt. And unfortunately, accidentally, there is some contact now with a second player that comes in, so a double whammy.
You didn't put quotes around accidentally there, did you? 5 minutes in, and Villareal. Interesting the way you phrased that, and you can see it. And while there might not have been good wishes towards Marcelino when he left, it could have been strengthening the foundation for what could be a championship team. They've always had the flair, they've always had that creativity, but put a good solid defense, the league's best right now, and maybe that will make a difference. A flick inside, Neymar tries the trickery, gets a deflection, and Iniesta makes it work.
Going back to your point, Escribá is trying to do, obviously, what you said Marcelino did last year, getting to the UCL playoffs. Unfortunately, they lost against Monaco, but this team has become a little better, I think, under Escribá. They enjoy football again. That locker room was unhealthy, and you can see with Madrid or other teams what that can mean.
Neymar cuts inside Mario. Iniesta scoops it forward, but the run went square. And an easy grab for Sergio Asenjo.
I like early on what Iniesta has done. He's taking a shot from distance, Phil. That means that back 4 can just drop. They need to step towards the ball and block shot. Now all of a sudden, space behind the back 4 allows Suarez and Neymar from deep positions getting depth in their game.
Finding the gaps, Messi quickly turns wide for Neymar. Suarez tries to open, back for Messi on his left. One touch and a sprawling tackle to deny. In for Iniesta, tries the outside of the boot, but it bangs off Bruno and back to midfield. Piqué. Neymar. Digne. Good ball across the middle, but everyone stopped. No one continued the run. Sergio Roberto. Suarez bumped just enough, kissed off by Iniesta, chipped in for Neymar. Suarez in the middle, but Asenjo again off his line quickly. Mesmerizing from the defending champs. Digne back for Neymar. As you said, though, patience, no panic from Villareal. Pressed in. Suarez tried to catch that one on the fly, but couldn't get enough of it. And Asenjo to the rescue again.
Beautiful now that Barcelona gets that third man involved. That should look at Iniesta and Messi being able to play, and then Suarez is trying to get behind that defense with that diagonal run, getting into that second or third channel, we call that nowadays, Phil, for a striker to get in positions where he can be successful. Aguero does that so well, and Suarez has become so good at his, in this particular case too.
Otto brings it down. Tennis action from Sydney, the Apia International. Day 2 coming your way later today. 8 p.m. for our coverage, 5 Pacific. Otto, another good deflection, gets it past Piqué. Chipped in across by Costa. Ter Stegen in good position as Dos Santos sends it high.
Dos Santos has been a surprise to me this year. Don't get me wrong, Sansone coming over in his first year too, with 6 goals, 3 caps for Italy, youth international, but the ability of Dos Santos to get places without the ball. As you can see right now, on that weak side, Digne has to go with Sansone, and then Dos Santos, 2 goals in his last 2 games, by the way, Phil. That's equals 80 prior games, by the way. It's been very, very good for Villareal. They get Soriano and Dos Santos, 2 of the best, I think, white players at a 4-for-2, and then Bruno and Trigueros. What can you say about those guys? They keep ticking, ticking, and ticking. They've been there for ages. Very solid.
Again, younger brother of Giovanni, who's done well with LA, to say the least. Hoping.
You're right. Osorio a year ago said MLS is not good enough. 6 months later, Dos Santos starts against the U.S. in a win in World Cup qualifying.
Jonathan, 20 caps to his name for El Tri. Offside, near side, Sansone, the 25-year-old. Kind of interesting. 2 Italians on this team playing in Spain, but both of them born in Germany. Sansone born in Munich, Soriano in Darmstadt, and both of them Bayern Munich products before they made the move.
Very interesting. Italians born in Germany, playing in Spain right now, played in every Spanish youth national team together as well. And Phil, you notice, as Gerd Müller say, goal, ein Tor. I think these guys want to see Tors, which, by the way, is goal in German. They would love to see that. Bayern sold them actually at young ages to Italian clubs.
Here's Busquets. Here's the footsteps, gets rid of it quickly. Messi with an acre of space and help down the line in Roberto. Cuts inside, scoops it forward for Suarez, but again, just a bit off. That's one of the situations Luis Enrique will have to deal with. A lot of these giant teams with these big name players going around the world during the holiday season, trying to get them back on track, rebuild that chemistry. In many ways, this is a perfect opportunity for Villareal to take on the defending champs, because they might just not be clicking.
And for both teams, this game is huge for different reasons, obviously. Villareal would like to get back to the UCL, and not maybe in the playoffs, but just to get in 3rd place.
Freezes Roberto, plays it square, top of the box, and a desperate lunge by Digne knocks it free. Sansone can't bury the rebound. What work from Pato, but nothing to show for it. And Messi fouled. Barcelona can breathe.
You can see that Costa's not afraid on the left side to go forward, Phil, and then Sansone, and again Dos Santos on that white side. What a great play by Pato, by the way.
That's why Milan spent all that money for him. Just never quite paid off in the red and black. And it also might show why Barcelona's still rumored to be looking for a right back.
That's an interesting situation there, Phil. There's a little bit of contact late. That's not a foul. I got to correct myself right there, but there was some contact, but after the ball had released already. Pato played in the 2007 World Cup when I coached the U.S. We beat that team, by the way, with Pato.
2007 under 20s.
Exactly. Pato gets sold for 30 million to Milan. Freddie Adu gets sold for 2 million to Benfica. And Freddie Adu on the day was so much better than Pato. Interesting world this is. in terms of football and the lack of respect, I think, for the U.S. players.
Ball chipped out wide. Digne looking. Also a tournament that introduced Josie Altidore to the world in many ways.
Yeah, scored twice against Brazil. Had one against Uruguay.
But they're almost able to bring it under control. Otto still just 27.
This has been a great opening 13 minutes, Phil. Great chance by Dos Santos. Almost a second 50-50 there. Neymar getting the ball through. Great goalkeeping by Asenko, who, by the way, is getting some sniffs now with the Spanish national team, and correctly so. That back four of Bruno and Trigueros have played years together. You can see there's chemistry. They know how to squeeze. They know how to balance. Look at the distances, meters, 10 meters between players vertically and horizontally. That's tough to beat.
Roberto will track it down. You see a little worry and a few more gray hairs on the head of Luis Enrique. Stepping up Bruno, keeping a close eye on Messi.
And this team is flexible, Phil. They went after Atletico at home. More possession, just destroyed them. Go Sporting, say, you know what? We're going to sit back and we're going to counter on you. Sometimes teams are better when other teams have the ball, so to speak.
Well, there used to be the joke back with Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
Said, what happens if the other team lets you have the ball? And he somewhat facetiously said, we'll give it right back to them.
It's a foul from behind. Neymar just gets fouled so often because he breaks up pressure, just like Messi, so early and so quick that you don't have a choice. You got to be cynical there. You got to bring him down, otherwise there will be numerical advantage.
Nice idea from Neymar, but Bruno was reading the same page, scooped forward by Trigueros. It's a battle on this near side with Soriano. And a whistle saying he went in hard. Piqué got there first. But was there a foul? Iglesias said yes.
Julio?
Ignacio.
Oh, Ignacio, sorry.
I don't see one there.
You know what, Phil? That's a nothing to me. That's a play on. Both players try to connect with the ball. They don't. There is some contact afterwards, but that is a play on.
I think if there was a foul to be had there, it might have gone against the Barcelona defender.
Piqué is doing a speech right now saying, we got advantages from the referee.
Sports.com with all the latest from La Liga. Share your thoughts on Twitter. Use the hashtag #BeinLaLiga. And, of course, catch all the highlights. Facebook.com/BeinSportsUSA. Messi now sliding into that center channel. Big match for Andre Gomes here. Getting the start ahead of Rakitic.
That number 8 position right now with Messi basically coming inside. Gomes, he tightens that area. Either he's got to give width and go out there. I understand that Roberto comes forward as well. To me, that's the wrong choice. If you look at statistics real quick, Turan, 3 goals, 2 assists. Rakitic still 2-1. Rafinha 5-0. Gomes 0-0 in terms of. I know he's a facilitator, but he's not athletic. In that 8 position, Phil, you need to be able to stretch a defense vertically, horizontally, without the ball. And Gomes is another one that needs the ball into feet to create. Well, you got Messi already. Get out of there.
And again, you're talking about a defense or a midfield, shall you say, with Busquets and Iniesta already out there in addition to Messi. But trying to find work for Gomes. They've had him step in for Busquets at times to some success. Again, Messi trying to make Bruno disappear. Soriano refuses. Iniesta. Gomes makes the run but does not get rewarded.
And that's good, Doug, Phil. It occupies somebody and creates space. I like to see that, actually, because that's one of the, if you look at functionalities, that's one of the things an 8 needs to do. Facilitate with and without the ball, with running.
A lot of times paying possession, attention to where the ball is. Here's Gomes, rifles it up and over as it rattled off Musacchio. But on Barcelona, you have to pay attention to where Messi is as well, as you point out, to create space.
And then the key is for players like Roberto, like Gomes, like Neymar, to find ways still to stretch that defense and keep width. Because if everybody comes inside, you make it easier for the block of 6. And it's just like Bruno and Trigueros. So you know what? We're going to stay centrally. Go ahead. We'll take good care of Iniesta and Messi and let those other players run into either Costa or Mario.
Suarez impeded as Roberto takes a tumble. 4 shots for Barca, including 1 relatively weak effort on target. As we look bundled up with the scarf around his neck, Fernando Roig, longtime president of Villareal, one of 6 brothers. Pretty sure all of them billionaires at the moment, part of one of the larger shopping chains in Spain. And his older brother, Francisco, making some headlines with, shall we say, a critique of Gary Neville's reign at his old Valencia. Beautiful work, Sansone with Pato. Sansone in, and Ter Stegen makes sure there's no rebound.
I talked about microcosm of the last game, Phil. Not winning second balls is going to hurt Barcelona. Busquets and Mascherano needs to step earlier. They're tentative. They allow Pato, other people on midfield, to run at them as well. That could be a big problem if they're not more proactive, I call that. Late. Mascherano not keeping his feet moving. Thanks for coming. Busquets doesn't have the athleticism to catch up. And then, yeah, it's not a great shot, but that spells problems.
Credit to Busquets, though, for forcing the angle. 30 seconds shy of 20 minutes, and that's the 3rd shot by Villareal. Even with fewer shots, they've probably had the better chances to this point. League Cup play coming your way. Tuesday, it's going to be Manchester United against Hull. That's 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. Then on Wednesday, Liverpool takes the trek to the Stadium of Light to face Southampton, a 2:30 kick.
See, that's a great example of Gomes there. He can't get away from people. Good pressure. I call that suffocate, or the Sufico. Winning balls without fouling. Talk about a foul. That is a foul against Barca. Good call by Julio Iglesias. Sorry, Ignacio Iglesias.
For all the fouls he's called before, Ignacio with another whistle. Jaume Costa, the left back, sliding to the inside.
You can't see it right now, but the contact by Suarez was made already before that. And
sending it long, trying to shield was Roberto Soriano, and he'll get another chance here. Good poke by Jaume Costa. Soriano in. Here's Sansone, and again telegraphed a bit, but right down Main Street for Ter Stegen. But Villareal getting more and more confident.
When you can break that initial pressure and get players in good position, which they do, there are options. 2 shots from distance at target right now. 1 great pullback ball, 2. And then again, the ability for Pato now to drop in there, draw a foul, and keep the ball alive for his team. That's so key.
Let me ask you this, though, because this is the Pato we saw back at Internacional when he was a youngster. Maybe not quite that breakaway speed, but such a smart player, so good on the ball. What went wrong at Milan and Chelsea that's going right at Villareal?
On and off the field, Phil, we know that he wasn't the greatest pro early on. He was very injury prone for those reasons, managers say.
Many would say he was somewhat undersized and they worked too much on building him up.
Yeah, that was another factor that probably played into all the injuries he later sustained. And then, Phil, you become disappointed, become disillusioned, and you need another venue. Went back to Brazil, more comfortable, still not good. Chelsea, not great. I'm so glad to see for this talented kid, which he is, and he's still young, to do what he's doing right now.
Credit to Timao as Corinthians reinvigorated. Nice dummy by Suarez leads to this. Here's Neymar, cuts inside but can't poke it past 4. Little kiss off by Soriano. Gutsy, but he knew Costa was behind. Here's Piqué.
And that's better. We call that the re-arrest organization, Phil. So when you're not involved and far away from the goal, a lot of players take a rest. It's not going to come here. That's the time to have discipline. That's the time you need to be concentrated. And that's the time we need to get close to Sansone and Pato and anticipate the ball coming in so we can continue to have possession.
And from an offensive perspective, that's where you try and get lost.
Very good.
And that's something that Sansone did so well in his time at Sassuolo and especially in his early days at Villareal. As you mentioned, 6 goals in a debut half of a season.
And people say that Pato has been okay, not a great production, but he's made Sansone so much better, I think. And then Soriano has had a great year as well. 4 goals, 24 chances created.
A little tuck inside for Neymar. Cuts back across, forced even wider, finds the shot, but can't quite find the corner. Asenjo sent sprawling to his left as it goes just wide.
Good ball through by Iniesta. Bounces luckily to Digne, and then Neighbor is able to get a shot off, which I would like to see him more do. Phil, he's great again, like Ronaldo used to be in the old days when there's a lot of space. He can run at people and get behind people. In tighter situations, a lot of times he can't find teammates or isn't able to get a shot off, which he does here right now.
Talked about the physical nature of the defense against him at times. And it's how he deals with that, though, that's causing issues. There was a bit of controversy in the match against Athletic at San Mamés, the first leg of their Copa del Rey tie, where he went down in the box on what was probably a foul. But the little boy who cried wolf, the whistle was silent. If that was Messi, they probably get the call. Lifted up by Suarez. He'll track down the clearance. In many ways, Neymar, a victim of the way he is perceived, not just by the fans, but most importantly by the referees. Iniesta spots a gap, finds Suarez on that inside left channel. Well defended, though. Musacchio sneaks it through.
The Argentinian defender has been in this country for so long, has been stellar with Ruiz.
Challenging, just enough to force the clearance out.
I like this. The referee, there's 3 or 4 occasions where he maybe could have called, but he's playing on.
As long as it's both ways.
Fans not particularly happy, but Phil, you're right. I remember the days with Cruyff. By the way, I played in this venue with Cruyff on a post-season trip. Obviously, we played in Barcelona here as well. Cruyff is a god.
Squared in for Messi. Ever dangerous, tries to drive that in, meets Neymar. The return off the give and go. What a gutsy one that was from about 20 yards away, but stepping up nicely, Soriano. Soriano, an attacking midfielder, pinching in, providing extra bodies defensively.
And that's so important because they play out of a 4-4-2 field, so the triangle in midfield of Barca, which is an inverted triangle, needs to be compensated by a wide player, either Dos Santos or Soriano, otherwise it will be a 3 versus 2 situation. And those players do that very well, in particular on the weak side. You got to come inside and help.
Messi cuts through 2. Frees Iniesta in for Neymar, back to Messi. And this time it's Dos Santos dropping back to defend. So it's 4 in the back when they're attacking, but it's pretty much all hands on deck on defense.
You and I did the game against Real Madrid yesterday, and what happened in that game, obviously Granada playing out of a 5-man defense, but the ability of both fullbacks to play very high made it 1v1 situation across the back. Villareal is able to have one player always spare.
Pato fighting through the challenge. Good hustle from Piqué to try and avoid the corner, but again, Pato causing headaches.
He's one of the best, Phil, in turning away. He loves contact. He feels the body. He knows where that foot goes, off balance, and then with the outside of the foot, boom, he's gone. The duck, faster than we think.
The key is also, if you watch him, He instigates the contact before the defense can get there. Good ball across. Soriano just a little too far afield. They're getting closer and closer to the Barcelona net.
Good interplay there by Villareal, getting good numbers. When they can play some possession and a good call, by the way, offsides, it can be very good.
Here, Messi.
You know what? That's good defending. You learn. Face somebody, give and go, stay with the runner, which he did.
Copa del Rey action on Thursday. Real Madrid shocked Sevilla in the first leg, but now it's back to the Sanchez Pizjuan for leg 2. 3 p.m. kickoff, noon Pacific.
Going back to Pato real quick, Phil. You know that you were there. Gerd Muller used to say to me after 3 games, Thomas, why don't you play me the ball? And I say, Gerd, you're marked. He said, that's why you need me to play the ball, because I can roll this guy. And now I get it, looking at Pato, what rolling a guy means. He can feel exactly what a body is, where the weight goes, and then get on that foot where he's not being able to shift to.
Although Pato can only dream of the chances that Muller buried. It's still time at 27. Sansone out wide. Pato finds the space, gets around Busquets into the box, hurdles the challenge, and then Mascherano and Digne combine. That was close.
Yes, both defenders had a step on Pato. He's trying to draw that one, but again, I like the fact that he's able to break the first pressure.
And that's also something we didn't see from his stint at Milan and Chelsea.
Yep.
When he would run into that situation, he would go negative, drop the ball back, play it square. Here he's taking the responsibility.
He's very vertical right now in his running with the ball, breaking that first pressure, what Messi obviously does so well. And that's what they're going to take today.
Ball across. All the way to Sergio Roberto. Deflected, but again, the Blaugrana will get there first. And a trickling ball, Asenjo able to grab. Came up through Valladolid, did the 27-year-old goalkeeper. Went to Atletico Madrid and looked to be on track towards perhaps challenging Iker Casillas, but got injured early, and that opened the door for a certain David De Gea.
Yep.
And he never really recovered. But now in Villareal, a chance to make a name for himself.
And what I like about Pato, he drops in that area where Busquets is, because he knows that he can turn and get away from Busquets, which has happened against Barcelona several times. Teams have figured him out a little bit where they can hurt him. You defend well, you don't give a lot away, you have a chance against Barca.
For Digne, Messi makes the run to the goal line, lifted into the middle, scrambling back Victor Ruiz. It's just enough of a touch. Busquets.
Easy PK, back heeling balls. I love to see that.
Neymar, not much space. And again, just look at that Christmas tree of defense in front of him. Wide for Digne. Across the 6, Ruiz heads it clear again. Some skill on that header. And now a chance started with Dos Santos on the break. Sansone into the center. Up steps Soriano. The ex-Saint-Man draws Gomes wide. Pato tucked through, but no one making the run.
Lovely football, really, by Villareal. They're not afraid when they gain possession to bridge a lot of acres of space, Phil. 70, 80 yards to get numbers in good position. But look at this. Boom. 7, 8 guys are back again. They're using almost the line of the 18-yard box as their starting position of defending.
Suarez inside, flag stays down, chance pops up again for Suarez, and again misses Neymar. Neymar point blank range, but he didn't pay attention to the defense.
You can see that Mario, Musacchio, Ruiz, Costa, Bruno have played together, Phil. Everything is automatic, which doesn't happen overnight, but have played together 6, 7 years. Great defending on the weak side by Mario.
College basketball action on the airwaves. beIN Sports presenting Marshall at Middle Tennessee. It's 7:30 on Thursday, 4:30 Pacific. Just about a dozen minutes left to go in this opening half. Maybe the better chances coming by way of Villareal, but over the last few minutes it seems as though Barcelona building a rhythm. Talk about the success that this Villareal team has had this season. Something that really hasn't been focused on is arguably their two most dangerous players have played little to no role. From the year before, Roberto Soldado yet to play this season. Ripped his ACL in the preseason, and finally about a week ago started touching the ball in his rehab stint. Won't be back until late February. And the other is Cedric Bukambu, who was the revelation last season. Only 2 goals this year and could be on his way out during this winter window. But Fran Escribá finding a way to make it work, and he's 10 minutes from heading to the dressing room, level with Barcelona, and he'd take that.
You could argue that the chances on both sides have been fairly close. It's yes, possession clearly Barcelona's favor. They've been able to get in good positions as well. They threatened a little bit, but shot from distance by Iniesta, and late here Neymar an opportunity as well.
Wide, Digne again. Suarez makes the run. The ball there, almost, but again, it's Musacchio. You can see why he was also on the top of a lot of shopping lists in the transfer window. Gomes quickly off to Messi. Weaves through 2, but a third pops in.
You know what the most interesting part there was, Phil? Iniesta looked Gomes off 3 times. He went, I'm not going to go there. Gomes is square. He can only play back to Messi. There's no penetration again. Messi, I can get there with the ball. You need to get out of there without the ball. I'm surprised by Henrique. You know what? This team somehow, Phil, is not willing to suffer anymore.
Explain.
Well, you know what? Maybe when we get a chance, I will. Just talent is not enough in games all the time.
Iniesta in on the turn. Suarez drops Neymar. But again, looks like the flag popping up offside as Luis Enrique.
And I blame Enrique for that as well.
Just by a shoulder. Well, the one thing it seems like you're criticizing is why isn't there another Xavi out there? And if there was, I think there'd probably be one on every team.
We just talked about the players that potentially could play, you know, where Gomes is playing right now. There's 5 or 6 of them, including Turan and Rakitic, Rafinha, Gomes, and Denis Suarez.
And I'd even include all the youngster Carlos Aleñá.
What they have, they're technically pretty sound, they're technically okay, but what they're missing is a mental fortitude, a physical strength. They have not replaced Puyol, let's be real honest. They have not replaced Dani Alves, which was tough and hard as well. They have not replaced Xavi, who could be getting under your skin, by the way, and looked only at being pretty good players that can move the ball. Real quick, between Madrid and Barcelona, shot conversion same, accuracy the same, goal scored the same, connect the same, but you know what? When they first concede goals, Madrid 0 losses, Barca 2 losses. That tells me something.
Basically, even when Madrid allows the first goal, they don't
That's what
quit.
I meant by that. Good. Correct. Goals conceded, Madrid between 75 and 92, Barca 5.
It looked like it could have been a foul, but advantage played. Dos Santos far side against Neymar. Good hustle. The ex-pride of La Masia.
And then Phil, real quick, duels won. Madrid, Varane, 76. Pepe, 60. Modric, 65. Iniesta is the only one in the top 20. So 209 versus 69 duels lost by Barcelona. I don't care how good you are, which they've been, and they still are. But you know what? You got to grind out sometimes results, which Madrid is doing, and Barca can't. So this, to me, is a telling game. Can they win 1-0 here?
Although, as someone who is a prodigy of total football, as the ball just slips away from Soriano, Offside flag pops up again. Doesn't that kind of point to the fact that one team is a 1v1 team and the other is an 11v11 team?
Go talk to Cruyff. Well, bless his heart, he's not there anymore. Same with Rinus Migels, who coached me and I played with. Yes, they wanted to play beautiful football. Yes, the 4-3-3 was so important. Yes, youth players of La Masia was important. By the way, we haven't seen a La Masia player really coming through. But you know what? They wanted to win as well. Cruyff took me by the throat one time when we lost against the Cosmos, say, if you don't stay with a runner again because you take money or food off my children's plate, because we played for bonuses that time. You know what? I never did it again.
Little tuck inside by Iniesta, lays it off. Neymar rides the challenge, tries to scoop it forward to himself, and well, if there is a flaw in his game, sometimes a little too individualistic. Easy for you to say. Sansone apparently a little under the weather.
Ooh.
And that's why, just above the shin pads.
And they can still 4-0 today. It's a beautiful team to watch. Don't get me wrong, but I'm hitting on something right now that I feel is wrong with this team that could be changed and could be directed by Enrique by being and demanding from his team a mental toughness that you need to have in order to win tight games, Phil. So yeah, 4-5-0, which Real Madrid and Barca do, but Madrid finds ways right now to, even to play ugly, to get results.
Let it go through the legs, tried to come around the other side.
Oof.
Ter Stegen doesn't want to just blast it, and Busquets and Sergio Roberto do a nice job to get it out of danger, but Gomes, second effort. And then the third one tackled away by Manu.
Hey, applause as well. What a great way to play out of the back. With risk. Ter Stegen, the German goalkeeper, starting that. The ability for them to move the ball in good positions. That's brilliant. It is.
Talked about La Masia, mentioned Carlos Aleñá, the young, well, just turned 19-year-old who's had a couple of performances with the main team in the first half of the season. Volkswagen halftime show coming up with highlights and more from the opening stanza. Could see him a little bit later. Lili, Carbonell. Also a certain young Ben Lederman, the American. Now, by virtue of a Polish passport to go with his US one, back at La Masia, and he's been practicing but now eligible to play again in the new year. Was it 16 still? Maybe
yes,
just 17?
Yep.
But one for the future for the red, white, and blue and the Blaugrana. Hey, talk about someone to maybe wear the number 10 if Messi ever gives it up. Wearing the number 10 pretty well in yellow, Alexandre Pato.
He could maybe represent Spain if he's there long enough. I'm sure you get your citizenship. Talking about those two Italians playing in Spain, born in Germany, chose Italy, obviously. Everybody's going to be a little bit lighthearted about Bruce Arena. We're doing the same thing as well. Players have choices.
Deals for a handball, but really too close to react. Good no call by Iglesias in my book. Even if Messi disagrees. Bruno looks away. Pass near side, but he split the difference. Sansone didn't come back. Costa didn't push forward enough. Talked about the whistles to the referee earlier for some no calls. I love Ignacio Iglesias, the referee.
Position, Phil. It's predominantly centrally. It's not out wide coming inside anymore. He's become the real 10. He's walking towards that side
Messi.
right now. Yes.
He's Xavi 2.0.
Where he plays for Argentina now pretty predominantly. But if you need to get Roberto going forward, and Gomes need to float there as well in that space.
Nice from Neymar in for Suarez. The first touch fails him, though, and he'll be fortunate to get a corner. One point is, if Messi's sliding in, you need someone who has the capability to slide out, and that's not really Gomes' game.
And even if he gets there, Phil, he can't get by people to get the cross in.
And maybe one reason Rafinha and Thuram have been better. This one headed on by Messi. Littlest guy on the pitch, but Asenjo with the stop. Out for another corner.
He uses blocks and picks a little bit. You can see right there coming from a little bit of a deep position,
Put something
making
on
a
it.
near post run.
Another in-swinger. Senho thought about coming out.
Looking for
Messi
Messi
didn't get it
again.
that time.
That's done a lot of times in a practice field. Get the smaller guy, and they're looking more for a flick on field than anything else there. But if you can go to goal, why not?
Well, they cost the 28-year-old left back by way of Valencia. Might have taken that one off the kisser.
There you can see Messi again. That's just a glancing, beautiful
the first
header.
shot.
Trying to go far post. Actually, Silva yesterday for PSG scored a great goal that way. There's Suarez running those channels so well. Just the ball gets away from him. And then again, just good defending. More blocked shots from Villareal than any other team in La Liga, if I'm correct. And that's an art of defending, Phil. It's not easy. It's not just walking towards the ball. You got to leave your feet. And it is a risk because if somebody cuts back, it doesn't shoot, you're out of the play.
Gomes for Roberto. Back to the Portuguese mid.
I wish that, I hate harping coach. Play vertical, play forwards, play through lines.
Mascherano. Iniesta to his left, goes right to Gomes. Now Messi in on that dangerous left foot, finds Digne, then into scoring position himself. They've kept Iniesta at bay for much of this match. Suarez tries to lift it through off Mario, wide. Digne drops it back, rifled by Suarez, but right to the feet of Asenjo, who smothers.
They're doing a very good job right now by playing triangular football. Iniesta, Suarez, and then Digne can come late. That's where the danger's been coming from on that left side. And picks out with a perfect ball, by the way. Pace inside of the foot. Mr. Suarez straight at Asenjo.
And that will do it for the opening half. First match in league play of the new year, and Barcelona and Villareal cannot be separated. Scoreless at the half. Highlights and more coming up. The Volkswagen Express halftime show is next.
You have a vision. It drives you. It inspires you. It's behind everything you do. Even when you least expect it, it comes through. You know what you want, and we can help make it real. You want choices? We've got lots. Pick a design. Make it your own. And if you get stuck, we can help. Add a special finish. Or try a premium paper. Whatever you choose, we absolutely guarantee the paper, the printing, even your design, every time, for any reason. Because you have a vision, and we have your card. 500 start at just $9.99 when you enter promo code BC500 at vistaprint.com.
Attention. Attention.
This is an urgent consumer alert from the Annuity Action Network. If you are currently getting or will be getting annuity payments, structured settlement payments, and lawsuit settlement payments, you may qualify for a lump sum of cash or an annuity exchange. You need to call 1-800-558-0930. Again, if you are getting or will be getting annuity or other payments from an insurance company, you may be entitled to a lump sum of cash. Federal and state laws have changed. Call us now to find out how they affect your annuity or insurance company payment rights and lump sum options. The number to call is 1-800-558-0930. To find out about your valuable annuity payment rights, you need to call the Annuity Action Network at 1-800-558-0930. The call is free. Call now for official information about your annuity payment rights. Call the Annuity Action Network right now at 1-800-558-0930 or text the word ACTION to 99000 to get started today. This was an official consumer alert from the Annuity Action Network.
It's without a doubt an addiction. An unbreakable pact between mind and soul. A free spirit that pushes every limit of your body. The same spirit that bonds you with your machine.
We too good, you can't win though. 5.0 with the tinted window. And she even agreed despite the attitude. And I've been around the world on the two latitudes and don't.
You see, there's not much difference between the extraordinary you and the extraordinary Marquez, Rosie, Ray, Beaubier. It doesn't matter how long you've been out of the action. Sooner or later, you're gonna see an open road. Open your garage, step up, and get back at it.
You like you buy it, so act according.
The MotoGP, World Superbike, and Moto America seasons will be back, starting in February on BN Sports.
The Express Halftime Show is brought to you by Volkswagen.
Welcome to your Express Halftime Show, brought to you by Volkswagen. Terry Lee here. We're going to get you back to the action shortly as Villareal currently holding Barcelona at home, goalless at the break. And let's take a look at the halftime story here between these two. Obviously, we've been hearing it all game. Possession is dominated by Barcelona, as it normally is. A little bit closer when it comes to percentage of attempts on target, as you can see here. But the real story here is the amount of passes, and that goes with the percentage story here. Dominated by Barcelona and as well in the attacking third. But in the almost 30% of the time that Villareal do have possession, they're focusing their efforts on the wings, unable to get through that midfield. And Sergio Roberto feeling the brunt of this one on the left side there for Villareal. Barcelona, of course, they're just attacking from every which way, aren't they? All right, let's take a look at Copa del Rey action in midweek, as both of these teams currently trying to get back to winning ways after first leg losses. Villareal and Barcelona hoping to come back when they go back home for their Copa del Rey second leg round of 16 matches against Real Sociedad and Athletic Club, respectively. And of course, it all starts on Tuesday with Atletico Madrid taking on Las Palmas. They do have a 2-0 aggregate lead. But for now, it is all about the second half. Somebody's got to score a goal here. 3 points on the line between Villareal and Barcelona. Volkswagen Express Halftime Show with your highlights coming up next.
Playing music used to be easy. You'd put on a record or put in a new CD. But these days, it can be a real hassle.
Hold on, it's not connecting.
Introducing Boom Touch, the amazing speaker that only has to touch your music player to work. That's right, no Bluetooth, no wires. You just lay it down for amazing booming sound. The secret is magnetic field induction, which isolates and amplifies the audio signal when a device touches down, instantly creating amazing, room-filling sound.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, really?
Dude, that's amazing right there.
There's no plugins? You don't have to Bluetooth or anything?
Wow.
How is that possible?
I love it. I want it. I want one. I want one now.
Here are the volume levels without a speaker. Here are the levels when connected to a typical speaker, and now we lay the same device on the Boom Touch speaker. As you can hear and now see, the levels are even stronger. Boom Touch is compatible with any device that has an external speaker, can play music continuously for hours, and is super lightweight and portable. That makes Boom Touch perfect for working outside, relaxing by the pool, or entertaining guests. Wherever you are, simply lay it down for amazing sound. You could pay more than $100 for a Bluetooth speaker, or you can get a Boom Touch speaker for just $19.99 and simply lay it down for amazing booming sound. But wait, order now and you can get a second one absolutely free. That's right, there's no additional charge to ship it to you. You can get both of these amazing Boom Touch speakers for one low price, just $19.99. Here's how to order.
To order the Boom Touch for $19.99 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-896-4281. That's 1-800-896-4281. Or order online at boomtouch.com. That's boomtouch.com.
Watch the Conference USA basketball season. Marshall at Middle Tennessee. Thursday on beIN Sports.
Still looking on, awaiting the first goal. Villareal and Barcelona at the Estadio de la Ceramica. Fragile conditions, you might say, as our Volkswagen Express halftime. Looking at the first half highlights. Thomas, highlights for both teams. Lionel Messi obviously involved here, looking for Neymar, but Asenjo's been busy.
The triangular ball circulation allows the third man running to get in there. It's very similar, as you can see here, with Dos Santos on that wide position, with good running near post to opening up space out wide.
Another chance here. Pato making the run. Opened a chance for Sansone, but forced wide by Busquets. A little bit later on, Barcelona started to take some chances. Here, Neymar.
And one way to unbalance defense or get him to play higher is shooting from distance.
Another chance here. Messi sees his header tapped above, but no score in the opening half, and more to come. Volkswagen Express halftime continues after this.
It's your TV. Take it with you. With DirecTV and AT&T, stream live TV anywhere, data free. Join DirecTV today, starting at $35 a month. No extra monthly fees.
We won't brag about having the best content. We are just a group of guys talking about our hobby, testing some of the coolest products, and sharing it all with you on Two Wheels. Every Tuesday on beIN Sports.
Join my alliance and prepare for victory. Bring in the heavy artillery. Now that's how you strike. Mobile Strike. Download and play now. Free from the App Store.
These women will give it all in a quest that's set to thrill, and only a few will have what it takes to be on top of their game. Don't miss out on all the live matches of WTA on beIN Sports and beIN Sports Connect all season long. We opened our eyes and traveled the world. Went to Spain to meet the ferocious giants. Fell in love with the mighty defenders of the Italian gates. And saw the beauty of the Tour Eiffel as our footsteps and fists knocked on the Queen's door. We also knew our heart was also Latin, African. We tested how fast we could run and how close we could get to the ground while at it. We got ourselves into the mud while pushed our minds and muscles to their maximum performance. Defy gravity, all the rules. We experienced the taste of blood, sacrifice, and humbleness when we battled against the greatest. We ran neck to neck with the fastest man alive, swam with the most decorated gladiator in a chamber that has evolved into current forms. We met and played with some cool people along the way, but there was always something missing. We decided to look at whom we were, traveled back home, and went to school to share all we have learned through the years. We are beIN Sports, and we bring you the best of all worlds.
Volkswagen Express halftime continues, and here's the look at round 17. Started out on Friday. Espanyol held at home by Deportivo Real with a big win. Sevilla bouncing back at Villareal on the road and still scoreless here.
The Express Halftime Show was brought to you by Volkswagen.
I really did save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico. I should take a closer look at Geico.
Geico has a long history of great savings and great service. Over 75 years.
Wait, 75 years? That is great.
Speaking of great, check out these hot riffs. You like Smash Mouth?
Yeah, I have an early day tomorrow, so.
Wait, almost there.
Good night, Bruce.
I gotta tune the A. Me.
Take a closer look at Geico. Great savings and a whole lot more.
Watch the Conference USA basketball season. Marshall at Middle Tennessee, Thursday on BN Sports.
Why are you checking your credit score?
I think we could finally get a bigger place.
Yeah, let me check my score too.
Try Credit Karma. It's free.
Credit Karma. Give yourself some credit.
Introducing the new turbocharged Volkswagen All-Track with 4Motion all-wheel drive. Soon to be everywhere.
Glad to see you as well. Villareal and Barcelona putting on a show. And to this point, no one out to take a bow. Bill Shane and Thomas Rongen with you. And again, keeping MSN off the score sheet. Job one for Fran Escrivá. Getting goals in the second half has been a bit difficult for the home side. Will they be able to turn that around today? And underway. No changes for either side. Asenjo in goal for Villareal. Mario, Musacchio, Ruiz, and Costa, the back four to the left. Trigueros and Bruno. Dos Santos and Soriano in that empty bucket in front, with Sansone and Pato looking to fill the bucket with goals. Bill Shane alongside Thomas Rongen with Jose Hernandez, Eduardo Biscayard on our Spanish language side. For Barcelona, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, the man with the gloves on, and not just because of the chilly weather. Sergio Roberto, Piqué, Mascherano, and Digne from right to left. Gomes, Busquets, and Iniesta, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar in their 4-3-3. Overlap for Digne. 4 straight in La Liga without a start, but he's back in the starting lineup today, and he's been important to the Barcelona attack, even if it hasn't paid off in anything, Thomas.
Without a doubt. I mean,
Digne on this near side as the ball flipped in for Asenjo to grab.
We looked at the channels with the percentages. Clearly most dangerous attacks have come out wide from Digne, with a few very good crosses, in particular the one again to Suarez that went straight at Asenjo. Keys to the game, Phil, yeah, the front three versus the back four. But I think at the end of the day, where it really comes down to, in my opinion, is Bruno versus Iniesta. And that is predicated again by movement around Iniesta as well. If he can get isolated, if he can find that triangle with Messi, Suarez, or with Messi and Neymar, they could be more successful. Bruno has done a great job, though, by keeping Iniesta, as you can see right here, Phil, really, really high up the field, where he heads to take part in the build-up, which normally is Busquets, but it hasn't been the greatest year for Busquets, as we all know. And then Gomes, again, dropping deep, doing the same thing that Iniesta or Busquets can.
Just out wide for Digne.
They're still one of the best, maybe still the best team in the world. Maybe I'm highly critical.
Messi, nice ball in towards the Frenchman. Well defended Dos Santos. Musacchio back to clear, but able to track it down again. Piqué stepping up. Gomes, nice ball on the overlap. Sent in by Roberto, but Ruiz clears. And that's something we've been looking for from Gomes. Needs to see more of that.
That is perfect, Phil. He reads the movement of Roberto, finds that little seam, and then with a one-touch ball is able to play vertically forward. Well done.
Villareal on their heels to start this second half. Suarez's pass misses the mark. Barcelona again wins it back in the midfield. If there is a concern for Fran Escribá, normally you say survive the first half. But that's where they have thrived. In fact, only Real Madrid has scored more. They've had 16 of their 25 goals come in the opening stanza, same as Barcelona's haul. In the second half, though, Barcelona, the best team in La Liga with 23, and Villareal, the worst with just 5. Now, if they can get to added time, they might have a chance. Liga in, but behind Iniesta. Nice idea from Soriano, and now Pato trying to draw the defense. Has Sansone in for the Italian. Strikes it far post, and a goal! Scrap the stats. It's Villareal in front.
But all the credit goes to Pato, and all the blame goes to Piqué. Why not step and be tight there? Pato's strength, turning, running at people. And now the back 2 or 3 is scrambling, and a good run by Sansone, and a perfectly weighted ball, Phil, into space, far post again. Unbelievable. Turnover again, numbers in front of the ball by Barca. Look at Pato again. Piqué backtracking now, and Pato just understands that Sansone is coming. Just a beautiful ball.
Ter Stegen did what he's supposed to, guard that near post. Pato freezes Piqué. Mascherano could not get back, and then Sansone looked like the pass was taking him wide, but he uses the angle to hit the mark.
If we can see this again, Phil, the movement of Soriano away from the ball, going diagonally, freezing again 2 or 3 players, allowing that space to be created for Sansone, and Pato just keeps that ball till perfection to allow this play to develop.
Well, if you do want to see it again, we've got the place for you. Head to facebook.com/BeInSportsUSA.
Or in the extra, Phil, after this game.
Chance for Gomes as Barcelona now chasing the match. Only the 3rd goal this season that they've scored in the opening quarter hour of the second half. Iniesta thought a run would be there, but Messi and Neymar both froze.
Can Barcelona push that threshold of pain a little bit further? Everybody wants to win, Phil, but the team that refuses to lose just has a different mentality. And yeah, you have to suffer. You have to go where it hurts. I just don't know if this team has that at this particular time. I hope they will, because they need to stay in this race with Madrid, with Sevilla.
We talked about the offensive woes in the second half. Defensively, though, Villareal plenty to be proud of. Only Atletico Madrid have allowed fewer goals than the Yellow Submarine in the second stanza. Beautiful tackle, it appeared, but then maybe in the afters, the body getting in the way. Ignacio Iglesias blowing the whistle.
Comes in a little bit late, and then
trail leg
impedes him, which forces Suarez to have to jump over that body. That's a good call.
7 minutes into the second half, the goal coming early. Sansone, his 7th goal. Quick restart, finds Neymar, tucks it low, but not wide enough. Quick thinking by Messi and Neymar, but the shot needed to be better.
That's playground opportunities, obviously. It's also a feel and non-verbal communication there between 2 great players. But he needs to score that goal.
Credit to the Sorianos.
Amount of money, the quality that this player has at the juncture where they need him to get back in this game, Phil. Sansone is in a tougher angle and goes side netting.
Credit to the Sorianos, Bruno and Roberto, for trying to block that far post, but player of Neymar's quality, you'd expect that one to tie the score. Pato scrambling back, that duck-like stride couldn't quite get there before Piqué did. And now you see Villareal starting to turn the pressure on, giving Barca a taste of their own medicine. Mascherano forced to distribute from distance. Suarez, Musacchio with a bit of a panicked clearance, and it finally trickles away. But they're going to say it touched Suarez and there was not a foul. Enrique Ramos getting a talking to, but Suarez knows he's the one with the last word.
And there's clearly a very foolish push from behind. Yes, okay, if it's a no call, it's a throw-in for Villareal, but the push in the back is a free kick for Barca.
By the way, if there is a concern again for Luis Enrique, ball out, grabbed by Asenjo at the top of the box.
Asenjo has just been so good, leading his back four, being comfortable, knowing when to come off his line, knowing when to stay as well.
5 saves in the opening half for the man from Palencia.
And all fairly easy saves. He makes it easy, Phil, because of his good starting position and reading things very quickly. It's a reason why, he finally got some looks with the Spanish national team. Good to see.
Messi gets away from Bruno finally, then Sansone throws his body in the way. Pato hurdles the challenge of Iniesta and drags Busquets wide. Tries to get around Mascherano, but Masche just a step quicker. Something you talked about, by the way, with Asenjo. Good position, but it's a team defense. They're forcing Barcelona into the position where Asenjo is in good position to make the stop.
Absolutely, Phil. And we call that overloaded areas. The opposing team wants to look at underloaded areas. We all know that Barcelona wants to play in tight spaces, give and goes, and it's become somewhat predictable against a team that has played that back four with the goalkeeper, played numerous games together.
Sansone's got the speed. Piqué trying to slow him down and does. Digne from behind. Sansone plays it square and just a touch from Roberto to deny. Villareal coming close to adding to their lead. Bruno. Costa. Soriano. Roberto Soriano through the 6, and Digne uses the outside of his left to try and clear. Neymar with the body to Iniesta, but nice work by Mario. Still sprinting forward, Barca trying to run on the heels of Suarez. Goes to Neymar, squared, dummied over, Messi fighting for it. No whistle, except from the stands, but Villareal survives.
Good transition attack by obviously that front three. Maybe Messi is the better option there, Phil, where you can lead him a little bit and the pressure can't come as early, but still. Suarez leading the attack and then having Neymar and Messi running off his shoulder. That's not bad.
Mentioning 5 of the last 6 matches for Barcelona have ended scoreless at the break. So first half maybe letting teams off the hook, and now paying the price here against Villareal. The Apia International stop in Sydney for the WTA. It's day 2 play today. 8 o'clock, we'll start our coverage, 5 Pacific. Big welcome to the WTA, the beIN Sports airwaves. Iniesta harassed. And Dos Santos back to grab it. Still remember the days with the Dos Santos brothers and the Alcantara brothers. Now only Rafinha remains. Gio in LA, Dos Santos in Villareal, Thiago at Bayern. Maybe, just maybe, Rafinha to the rescue before this is over. Messi squares, Iniesta wide, Neymar drags, chips, chested, and then cleared away from a charging Andre Gomes. A bit fortunate Jaume Costa.
Wow. I don't know if that's fortunate or brilliant play under pressure. That's incredible. I think fortunate is more the word. The chest there, looks over your shoulder, is happy.
You might be right.
It comes off his shin. But under pressure, in duress, 6-yard box, having the awareness still to look where Messi is. That's pretty good defending.
14 straight matches without defeat for Barcelona against Villareal, but that is in threat at the moment.
You want to hear another stat, Phil?
Go for it. Ray's not here.
Barcelona scores 10 goals. More goals between the 46th and the 60th minute. Villareal scores the least, 2 only. You're right. You're holding your hand up. You've read this Opta Jack thing. Well done, Phil.
And now they have their third. And that might just be enough.
This game is not over. It's going to take an individual brilliance, but they have that up front. Barcelona.
Iniesta, brilliance in the midfield, glued to Neymar's feet. But as he cuts to the inside, it's Bruno to the rescue. The homegrown hero looking to start a break the other way. Pato starts the body on Mascherano. In flies Sansoni. Piqué with a little back heel, adding some flair. Barcelona doesn't know how to play another way. Got to make it look good along the way. Messi runs into a buzzsaw, poked free by Piqué, and then trying to win it back, Sansoni with the foul. Sansoni, as Digne runs out of real estate. What an acquisition out of Sassuolo. 7 goals, 2 assists, and he's drawn 3 penalties. And providing, I mentioned again, for a team with a half-hearted Bakambu, currently at the Africa Cup of Nations, waiting an expected transfer, and an absent Soldado. They needed someone to provide that danger along with Pato, and Sansoni has more than done that.
Without a doubt, Phil. It's hard in Spain in that first year and a half to be so productive for any player.
Neymar tries to drop it back, but Bruno again reads it well. The 32-year-old homegrown one-team man. IanSports.com. Check out all of the action. Ball back. Asenjo just whacks it out of danger. One word of caution, although it came before Escribá arrived. The last 2 matches in league play that Villareal lost after taking the lead, both against Barcelona, most recently just 2 years ago.
Hey, listen, this is still Barcelona, the highest scoring league, a team in the league. 23 goals on the road, more than what they've done at home. Better away records. So they're in this. There's enough quality in this team to get back into this.
Busquets trying that long ball. And it was well read and almost threaded through for Sansoni. That's something he provides. They needed someone to stretch the defense.
Very good, Phil.
And you could say Barca needs that too.
Depth. And Pata all of a sudden coming underneath. Beautiful. Good combination.
If you can force Messi into 40-yard shots, I think you'll take it any day. Even if he will hit his share. Back to Digne. So just at a time of the season where Real Madrid is erasing doubts. 39